Hello, and welcome to another edition of Lodging on Demand. In this episode, Lodging Editor-in-Chief Dennis Nessler catches up with Aditya Thyagarajan of Hotel Key to discuss a number of key hotel technology trends and services. Thyagarajan emphasizes the importance of the integration of various tech platforms to work together, the movement to cloud-based products, and the increased ease of use within many technology offerings.
Hi, this is Dennis Nessler, Editor-in-Chief of Lodging. Well, welcome to Lodging Video on Demand. I'm here today with Aditya Thyagarajan, President and Founder of Hotel Key. Did I do that okay, Aditya?
Yeah, absolutely. How are you doing, Dennis? Thanks
Good.
for the
Welcome.
opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you for being with us today. I appreciate it. Aditya, why don't you talk a little bit about Hotel Key and what it is you guys provide and some of the platforms and services that you have?
Yeah, absolutely. So Hotel Key, we started the company in 2015. We are headquartered in Dallas, Carrollton, in Texas. We are around 450 employees located in 2 locations in the US with Dallas and the Portland office, 2 in Eastern Europe, and a couple of locations in South Asia. Our core flagship product in our Hotel Key platform is the property management system, which we call the PMS. Now, on top of the PMS, over the last few years, we have built an enterprise-grade CRS, which is the central reservation system with the call center software distribution. Then we also have a product called Retail Key, which is our point of sale solution for retail outlets, full service restaurants. Then Payment Key is our payment processing solution where we integrate with processors and gateways, etc. So these are our core 4 products in the property management platform.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about what you're seeing on the owner side of things in terms of investing in technology and these kind of platforms. Have you seen more of a willingness in recent years as technology has kind of really become more a focal point for companies? Are they a little more willing to invest? What are you seeing kind of on the owner perspective?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Going into 2020, right? I think all of us, the entire industry, was wondering, what would be the next steps in terms of technology, operational efficiency, because obviously the world was operating a little bit differently at that time. So I think one thing what we have seen over the last 2 or 3 years, whether it is with owners or with franchise brands, there is definitely a willingness or an interest to go to the cloud. Now, that's just a buzzword. Technology, cloud. We see a lot of interest in big data, business intelligence, lot of interest in AI, as we have always seen. Hospitality in some ways, looks at what's happening in other industries, especially airlines. The similar things after what airline has done, etc. So the main thing we see is, with labor being, with attrition, with it being an issue since 2020, we see a lot that, technologies which are coming out today. I think the first thing is ease of use, ease of training, products like us being able to provide optionality, right? Like, somebody would want to use a company for their PMS, it should integrate with the housekeeping solution. So I think products which are nimble, easy to use, which fit an enterprise ecosystem. I think that's kind of what we have seen over the last 2 or 3 years. And there is definitely more willingness to change, to adopt technology, to reduce technical debt. These are terms we hear as we continue to work with the larger global brands, like in terms of whether we are in an RFP with them, whether we are in implementation. The theme looks similar, which is adoption of new technology to make things easier for operations and improve the guest experience.
Yeah. You mentioned AI. What are you how does AI is it incorporated in what you guys do? And I would think that's increasing.
Yeah, and AI is an area where we still call it alpha. We are sort of dabbling around, playing around with what we can develop, looking at what's happening in the industry. So AI is from a simplest term, if you look at it, currently products like us store data, preferences, all of that right now. When you are attracting a guest to come to your hotel, to your brand, or when a guest is coming in to check in, the more all the information exists today, and using some of the AI tools, algorithms which we are building, we can offer an add-on. We can, while the front desk agent is talking to the guest, we can do some voice recognition and offer them a room which is overlooking the ocean. So a lot of things like that which we handling guest behavior and being able to automatically prompt that at the front desk, so that way we are not dependent on the front desk agent to offer upsell options, add-ons, or to improve experience. So we're just sort of dabbling into that, understanding what would make check-in time faster, what would give an opportunity to a hotel to add on, etc. Right. So, but again, it all starts with data. With data being available in the cloud, us using a API microservices based architecture, we can have access to all these data points, and the end goal is to improve the experience, right? Whether it is guest or the operation staff.
Yeah, right, exactly. Most owners want to know about return on investment. How do you prove, I guess, that return on investment? Because that's at the end of the day what they want to see.
Yeah, so with a product like us, right? It's when you're an ERP solution, sometimes to directly calculate ROI is a little bit difficult, right? So when you look at let's say revenue optimization platform, it's a little bit easier. You can say, hey, before the platform, these were the rates. Post this, we're doing this, and we see a revenue. For us, one of the things we've seen is automation, right? So when you look at brands which could have 1,000 plus hotels or 500 plus hotels, with one of our brands, so we are live in about five US based enterprises brands today. In one of those brands, we saw that just introducing automation, like automatically charging a credit card if a guest hasn't arrived by a certain, like the cancellation policy has not been met, or other automated functions like after a night audit processing a no-show. As these functions were automated, which reduced any mistakes made by the staff, we automatically see an increase in revenue. Now, the other indirect impact we have seen on ROI is when we have the reduction of training time. For example, with our product, what we have heard is in 4 hours you're able to train a team member and get them to the front desk. So all of these things, the way we look at it is one is we try to reduce overall cost by using technologies like these cloud products like AWS, whatnot. So that's one. Then the other is this indirect impact with automation, ease of use, ease of training. So that's kind of what we have seen with these brands, and it all adds up when you have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 hotels. So that has been our experience, and those were just 2 simple use cases.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the evolutions and some of the things that you've seen on the property management side over the last decade or so that have really kind of changed the game for operators?
Yes, I think I think that what stands out to me is ease of use, right? So if you look at it earlier, you had to go log in to your computer. You have to remember some keystrokes like F4, F3, F2, a screen which has all the data in one screen. So I think what we have done is, as we have understood the usage, typically touch screen, how our the entire world has moved from if you look at flip phones to, all these iPhones, Androids, so we sort of look at all that and say, now, the mantra with our product we started was, if you can use an iPhone, you can use HotelKey, right? And, be able to provide our products, whether it is a web interface, whether it is an, iPad apps, our product is available on different operating systems, all that. So I think one of the things what I've seen is ease of use is a big output of having the latest architecture, right? So definitely seen that. Second is, if you remember, a few years back, if an owner wanted a report, let's say an occupancy report, they had to call the hotel, say, hey, I want today's occupancy report. I want to see what the reservations are. Then they would fax it to the owner. The owner has to go and access fax and view. Right now, with some of the products we have, and just not us, like companies like us, which provide PMS and other products, you could just be on your phone. You can say, hey, choose this particular property. You could be multi-owner. You could be a director of operations at a brand and say, hey, go there. I want to see this report, and they can see it. If you're a rev manager, you can get an alert on your phone, and then you can increase, decrease rate, move to a different event season. So I think in addition to ease of use, the access to data is something which has tremendously improved when we talk to owners from like 10 years back, 20 years back. And then I think the third thing from a brand perspective, what we have seen is the flexibility which companies like us are expected to offer. So by that, I mean, let's say if you're working with a large, global brand, and they have certain products for accounting, for HR, for, guest satisfaction, etc. A product like us should be able to fit in the ecosystem. And that is where, using technologies such as APIs, microservices-based architecture, allows other systems to have real-time access. As opposed to 10 years back, I would have had to send something after night audit to a data warehouse, and you run a report which showed you data consolidated for yesterday. Now the thing is, everything has to be real time today. So to me, those three things stand out, which is ease of use, access to data, and then products being nimble enough to fit in an ecosystem.
Yeah, you kind of stole my next question a little bit, but I was going to talk about how you kind of integrate with other systems and other companies. Are vendors working together more on that kind of thing to be able to be compatible, or has technology kind of bridged that gap?
Yes, I think you asked about how we integrate into other products.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes, actually, that has been a key component of one of our offerings at HotelKey. So what we did is, as we started the journey, our first enterprise was Motel 6, where since it was the first and only enterprise we were working with, we were transferring data to them, ingesting data, everything using an API. As sort of we went, as sort of we got traction into other brands, especially working with Hilton today. We have built a product out of it. It's called Data Stream. So what this product does is, it's so the entire interface and integrations, we have productized it, and we put an entire team on it. So tomorrow somebody can come to us and say, hey, enable these 5 interfaces. And we are maybe one of the few providers, we do not charge any extra fees for integration, unless the integration partner has a fees which then is passed through to an enterprise. But what we have done is we have taken it one step ahead, where we have a dedicated team and a dedicated product just to interface. Like, it's a product where we say, hey, if this is, let's say, Profit Sword or M3, this is a data file, and they can extract it. Same thing if the financial system is SAP, nothing changes in the core product. So like, these are events which sit in HotelKey, and somebody can subscribe to it. Gotcha. And the same way you can data. So So that's a great actually question, and that has been a big focus for us, as I said, as we work with 5 enterprises. Remember, every enterprise, somebody could pick SAP for their financials, somebody could pick Oracle, somebody could have a particular version of SAP, right? But what we do is we encapsulate everything in a product, event it out, and then our customers can pick whatever data field they want to feed their systems.
I see. In terms of the guest, what is your take on kind of the current guest expectations and how they've changed?
Yeah, absolutely. So now, we see a lot, right? So it's twofold. You have one set of guests who are like, I don't even want to meet anybody at the lobby.
Mhm.
I want to park my car, go to the room, right? Now, there is still a significant percentage of guests who walk in with families, who want to come in, experience that, talk to the front desk, look at what are the options, what are the activities at the resort, can they get a upsell, all of that, right? So in all of this, what the product we believe should be able to do in this, you can call it high tech architecture, the nimble framework is be able to provide integration touch points, what we call APIs, to apps like the Hilton Honors app, or whether it is the Motel 6 app, the Extended Stay America app, where a guest can just click on a couple check-in buttons. We call the same API and go to their room. Same way, if somebody walks to the front desk, while talking to the guest and looking at add-on options is still calling the same API. So the thing is, you have data integrity, because irrespective of somebody wants to dash to their room or someone wants to go through the front desk, someone wants to check in through a kiosk, in the end, you are calling the same APIs or services. So the thing is, so guest is expecting different forms of being able to interact with the hotel, but from a system perspective, it should be there should be full data integrity. Like whatever you do, you still check in the same way, right? So that way, so that's something we have seen. The other thing which we have focused from the first day is, instead of like printing out and signing on the registration cards, we have an option where somebody could just have an iPad or a tablet and you sign on that, and then the reg card is saved as a PDF in AWS. So that we're reducing printer costs, reducing time it takes, increasing and engagement. So small things like that is what the guest expects. And now what we are working on, what we are enabling for our enterprises, is the third piece here, right, which is communication. So communication can happen prior to check-in, during stay, after I have checked out. So for all of these, again, what the current architecture, the APIs, I keep using that word, that's able to provide that, right? So that way you can say, hey, housekeeping, can I get some towels? And then that way, the property management system is able to save it, send an alert to the housekeeper, so things like that. So again, we see, the contactless check-in options, drive to room, quick, things like, don't have to print everything, right? Make it faster, and just that being able to communicate without having to talk to anybody. That's, I think, the new generation seems like they don't want to talk to people. No. But then they expect everything, right?
Exactly. So Adi, we're almost out of time. Maybe some final thoughts, kind of where you think things are headed technology wise as we go towards 24 and beyond.
So absolutely, right. So big data, AI, these having these option system. Then I would say the optionality around fintech, right? Being able to have integrated payments, being able to choose the provider you want to work with, expecting companies like us to help you with your chargebacks, right? So all of that, we have been focusing a lot with the payment key product, which in the future we want to expand by connecting to cloud lending platforms as an example, right? If a hotel wants to do, renovation worth $250,000, instead of, applying, you can just click a button on the PMS, things like, if you sort of look at when you're buying a Tesla today, you can just buy everything on an app. The same way we want to enable that. And in the back end, continue to work with these large players, whether it is banks, whether it's processors. You should be able to click a button and be able to order at Home Depot or HD Supply with the best possible deals. So that's something, I think, if you look at it, again, it's around access to data, around predictive AI, around, one-stop shop, giving you an option to do a lot more than what we can do today in a platform. So that's sort of the way we look at it, is where the industry is going.
Sure. Adi, thanks so much for your time today. I appreciate it, and have a great day.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you for listening to Lodging on Demand. If you want more content like this, subscribe to Lodging Magazine on YouTube. You can also subscribe to Lodging on Demand wherever you get your podcasts. For news and updates, follow @Lodging Magazine on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn, or visit us at lodgingmagazine.com.